This was previously posted by me on another sub where I got some really nice advice, and someone there suggested coming here for some more. Basically that's it. I met this man when I was 17 and he was 28. We shared so much in common, and although I should have not been so dumb to not realize the age difference was weird, I fell in love with him. About a year into knowing each other as friends, I had to tell him how I felt, and he felt the same. He convinced me that people would judge us, so we should keep it quiet. I abided. Over the years I often got upset that I felt like he was hiding me, but he had given me literally zero reason to believe there was someone else and continually convinced me that it was for our own good. What people don't know they can't ruin, right? This guy literally lived a double life and I have no idea how. I'm so angry at myself for being so stupid and blinded. I obviously talked to him eventually about our future and my goals. He straight up said he didn't want to have kids or get married, and I was so infatuated with this man that I convinced myself that I didn't want those things either, even though I definitely do. We made plans to move away together when he felt like it was appropriate to start telling our family and friends of our relationship, and the future looked promising. I'm at the point in my life now where it feels dumb to hide someone, especially someone I love, and not have a fulfilling life with them and my family supporting us. I have a decent job and wanted to make things official, so I got pissed and would constantly beg, plead and cry for him to move in together and let us tell everyone. Before, when I would ask, he'd be really sweet about it, but it was now that he'd get angry at me for nagging him. To be honest, I now realize it was probably at this stage that he wasn't thrilled by what he was doing anymore and didn't care that much, so he started being more careless, and that's when I found out. He told me that he lived with his sister and her kids, that he'd taken them in whenever her marriage ended, and because they're so close their living dynamic was really good, so he never rushed her to find a place of her own. So we rarely stayed at his place because nobody knew, but when we did they weren't there. Not exactly sure why they left so often, but from what I've gathered they spend a lot of time taking care of family in a different area. Before you ask, like I said before, this guy literally lived a double life. There was no family photos that would have made me doubt the story he had told me. It makes me feel so gross when I think about the amount of preparation it took. Anyway, continuing. Like I said, he got kinda lazy and didn't care. We were at his place and he asked me to get something from the car. While looking, I seen some trash jammed in the side of the back door, so took it out to check if what I needed was underneath, and there it was. A picture of he and who I knew as his sister, holding a kid each and kissing each other. I literally still feel sick thinking about it. I don't know how I was so dumb to not realize. I showed him, got my stuff and told him I'd let him live his life, but I'm removing him from mine, then left. It's been a few months now, but I cannot seem to choose happiness and move on. I know I did the right thing by cutting him off, but I miss him. Then I'm angry, and I feel like a horrible fucking person. I would be so devastated if I was her, and I really don't want to destroy her life by telling her, but sometimes I really want to. It feels like I'm going through every stage of grief simultaneously and I don't know how to stop it. I have absolutely no idea what to do, how to get over this man, and how to stop beating myself up for something I had literally no inkling of. Do I tell her? How TF do I move on from this?
I literally walked in on my wife cheating on me with her ex. What do I do? Together almost 7 years, married for just over 1. She dated him ages 18-22, then someone else for a couple years. Then me 2012 until now. We are 31, he's 40-ish. We do everything together, including running a successful small business. Our friend group makes fun of how perfect our falling in love story is. And other than this problem, it has been a very happy, fun, successful relationship. Over the years, she saw him occasionally. Birthdays, holidays, etc., maybe once every couple months. Always for an hour or two, dinner or coffee. I never, not once, saw him. He is married and has a child, and always hid from his wife he was hanging out with my wife. Note, he cheated on my wife several times while they were dating. So I have always been baffled why she wanted to keep in contact with him. He also was in a serious accident, where she rehabilitated him, feeding him in bed, for months. And then he cheated on her again as soon as he was back on his feet. He also made her clean his entire house all the time, and inspected her work. She doesn't have many friends, so she always said it was nice to meet up with an old friend who share history. Whatever, I didn't think much of it at first, and I trusted her, even though I disagreed with her. So one day a couple years in, I see her phone light up from the coffee table. He texted her, I glance, and it is a super sexual kind of joke. I freak out inside. I talk to her about, and say it is very inappropriate yada yada. She says she'll talk to him and it will never happen again. I write it off as him being a dirtbag. Few months later, it happens again. Now I am very freaking right out. So I start reading through her texts while she's asleep, because you know, as embarrassing and gross as it is, I need to know. Lots of sexual jokes, or general remember that time. Also texts being critical of me. I wake her up screaming, saying she can never see him again if this continues. She doesn't
So I met her, and it's only every couple months or so, whatever. Anyway, flash forward to the last couple months. I noticed they were talking way more often. Lots of phone calls and texts. We have each other's locations, because we are married, and she insisted. I never look, but now I start to look. I checked a few weeks ago. She sees an address I don't recognize. Call her to see what's up. She sounds odd, says she's at a friend's house. I know where this person's lies, and it is not the location she is currently at. So I say hello to X's name for me, assuming that's what she is doing. She rushes home. She is so scared that she was caught hanging out with him. And a lie, she is so scared she starts puking, and doesn't sleep all night. I am mad as hell, but I forgive her. We are fine for a couple weeks. She is still texting with him lots. We work a lot all week together, and have fun. He is around in her life enough over the years that I can't help thinking of him often. And comparing myself to him, he is super rich. I'm definitely not. Thoughts have been popping in my mind of them being together. Even while we are being intimate, I tell my mind to fuck off, but it keeps happening. I am losing trust. After dropping her off at home after work, I go back to do more work. Mentioning I'll be out until 2 a.m. or so, I get tired and come home early thinking we could just watch Netflix. She isn't home, even though I just spoke with her. I check her location, and she is nearby his house. The location updates. She is on her way home. I see the dots stop at the top of the street. I wait 10 or so minutes. I walk up our street, expecting to just surprise him, meet him for the first time. Introduce myself very awkwardly, and then ask her why she is lying about seeing him. As I walk closer, I don't see two silhouettes. I get closer and find him in his car, but she's on his lap, kissing him. Arms wrapped around him. I pause for a few seconds in shock. I open his door. Fast, I swing, punch him in the face. He looks scared and confused. I throw my ring onto his dash, and scream some sort of speech. Stroll away back home, grab cars, and drive 2 hours north to stay at my dad's. I think of all the times they must have been together. How could it be possible that the only time I had ever seen his face, they are kissing? Out of the dozens and dozens of times I have let them get together, it can't just be the one time. Right, I go back to town. We talk. I yell and scream and break stuff, smash her chair, asking for the truth. She says she also pissed him when his cat died, 4 years ago. But those were the only 2 times, and they were because she was trying to make him happy. My trust is shattered. I don't believe those could be the only 2 times. After all the sexual guilt and tests, and I mean we're adults, who the fuck only just makes out for a bit. Even if that is the truth, I have told her for years that he is trying to be more than a friend. She always just brushed it off, and continues to convince me that they are just friends and it's no big deal. Even though she knew I really didn't want her to see him, even all of her friends and family have continuously scolded her for seeing him after what he did to her. Considering all that and the fact that she cheated on me 4 years ago when his cat died, like how dare she? Anyway, I've read online that couples counseling, and one-on-one counseling is the only way to get out of this alive. But to be honest, I'm not feeling very hopeful. This was a building problem over years, my only problem with her. And it exploded. I am not a violent person. I have been in one fight my entire life, in grade 7, and now I have punched her man in the face. I just don't know if I believe her. She deleted him off everything, and promised she will never see him again. But who knows how long it will last. I guess she just never got over him, and just lied to herself thinking it was just a friendship, and would do anything to get that attention from him. Anyway, anybody else going through this? What do? I hate that I'm posting this. I just don't want her friends to know. Thanks.